Testing, 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 testing. Normally we do this at night, and now we're doing it in the morning. This is going to be coffee instead of alcohol. So what I need is to pop out the chat. There we go. And resize our window here. Resize the chat window like that. Then can I display capture there it is. Resize it. Put it there. Why is it upside down? That's interesting. Or is it mirrored? No, it really is upside down. How is that possible? How is it possible that... I'll tell you what, when you, as you age, technology is going to do the weirdest things to you, and you're not really sure how it does it. Transform, rotate 180 degrees. There you go. Interesting. That's awesome. Invest in pension planning. So, yes, I bought a 1966 Ford Galxieee, and I should find a picture, shouldn't I? Do I have any pictures on the computer, or are they all on my phone? Well, we got the picture that I think Lance Heinrichs took. I think that's on the computer. Let me exit out of Discord. Oh, not that one. Exit out of Discord. And where did it go? Is it on the RCR deck drive? Can't see it. That's weird. The chat looks upside down and backwards on stream. Is it still backwards? That's fascinating. I took a picture of the new Galxieee, and now I don't know where the picture is. It's weird because not only it's part of it. There it is. Okay, photo 2023. So now the chat, like from my preview window here, oh, is it still upside down? It's still upside down. Look at that. Transform. Rotate 180 no. Transform. Flip horizontal. There it goes. Is it going to change back all by itself? Maybe try upgrading to Windows 10. I'll do it when I build a new computer. So I need to get you a picture of the Galxieee. Image. Okay. Find the image. No. Desktop. Scroll down. There it is. Okay. Okay. Very large. Make it small. Make it smaller. Crop it up off the top of the screen. And again, it's reversed. Wonder why they do that. Flip horizontal. There it goes. So there's the Galxieee, and now I get to resize the browser window. There it is. You should really change your chat from the top chat to live chat to get more accurate views. Okay, live chat. There it goes. So instead of alcohol at night, we're doing coffee in the morning. I have a Zoom call with Holly Performance starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I'm probably going to stream until right before then. As much as I said I didn't want to change to live chat, I think I just did. As much as oh, that's a nice wagon. Hold on, getting distracted. Man, if I ever buy a interesting choice for someone swapped the seats out. That's a 360 in there. It has a small block V8 that turns over by hand but is not running. And you want $6,000 for something that doesn't run? You're just sitting and waiting, aren't you? Just waiting for that someone to just pay. This is at most $1,000 of what I would pay to have this. $6,000 for something that's not running. Okay, up in the corner here, that white Galxieee, it runs. We bought it in Sugarloaf, Pennsylvania, which is near Hazleton. Drove it an hour home with Lance Heinrichs in the car, his friend Muzzy, and Lance's boyfriend Kurt driving the Nairo. So we drove for $7,500. I bought a perfectly running Galxieee. I mean, it runs rich as hell, which is why I have a call with Holly Performance. I want to get a sponsored Holly Sniper EFI kit for that Galxieee, which is going to upset the people who are like, why don't you just go? All you got to do Holly, there's nothing wrong with carburation. You just got to do the idle circuits, and then you got to take brake clean, and then you got to spray the brake clean around this, and you find if the engine makes a different noise, and you found the vacuum leak. And then you got to go. So, if you just rebuild the carburetor and waste an entire day and a half, you don't do it right, then you got the accelerator pump, O-ring seal, you got to check every O-ring seal. I know what my time is worth, and I know what my sponsorship capabilities are. So I am going to see if Holly will just give me the EFI conversion kit for this. And guess what? Then I'll never have fueling issues again. Because the computer is just going to self-learn the whole thing. So I didn't want a third-gen Galxieee. But all the frickin' boomers and the consignment shops and the classic car dealerships want insane prices for second-gen Galxies, which is the cool-looking one, that I couldn't find one. Even that guy up in the Finger Lakes, that was $17,000, and that thing is $7,500. Are gamers really going to care? The whole project is going to get the same amount of views, no matter if it's a second gen or a third gen. So, okay, I have vertical headlights instead of horizontal, and I have square tail lights instead of circular. Everything else about the car is pretty much the same. I was just driving around in the Galxieee yesterday or the day before when we had warm weather with the top down. It's great. I've never owned a convertible before. I mean, I've driven them, but not one where all the windows go down and you're just in the open, rolling along. And Matt Lazo says, my uncle is having a lot of issues with his Holly EFI and his Bronco. The computer is in full learn and is still screwed up. It runs great when running. So it runs great when running, but has a lot of trouble starting cold. Interesting. Okay. So then there's something that the EFI, I think, can't learn. Welp. Good to know. I will talk to Matt Happel. Hopefully, I'll be able to buy some of Matt Happel's time once the EFI goes on that thing, that it can go and get tuned by Matt Happel, the king. So right now, the Galxieee is dumping fuel. It is so rich. So, okay, fine. I know the basics of carb tuning. I know what the idle controls are on it. Lean them out, lean them out, lean it out until it starts stumbling, then back it off, richen it back up a little bit. And I got it to where it nicely idles at 700. But the second you put it in drive, it stalls. There is so much load on that engine. I think it has a C6 transmission, which is the truck transmission in the Galxiees. The second I put it into drive, there is like 500 RPM between idle and drive. So in order for this thing to not stall, want to put it into drive, that thing has to idle and park at 1,000 RPM on a small block Ford, and that is dumb. So I don't know what's causing that much drag. And also, even when I don't know where this richness is coming from. The float levels look correct through the little window thing. They're in the middle of the window, maybe a little bit higher. You can smell it. It's so rich that gas mileage isn't that bad, and it's not sooting up the tailpipes. And inside the carburetor, like you look down into the barrels, it's not like it's all sooty or anything, but you can smell it so much. Like Kurt was saying on the drive home with the Galxieee that he had to turn recirc on inside the Niro because he was following us. Like I can just smell that car on 81. We're going 65 miles an hour. Doug DeMuro's British cousins. Do cars from that era have any kind of ECU to control that? No. Dude, cars didn't have computers until maybe American cars didn't have computers until maybe the late 70s. There's no computer in that car. It's all done through valves. It's all done through vacuum pressure and little valves. That's it. And this is the 60s, man. There is no emission controls. The most emission control thing that has is a rebreather that goes from one of the crankcase breathers back into the carburetor to burn off crankcase fumes, or really just engine fumes, which I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to put it into a catch can so I don't mess up my spark plugs. Radio Wallace says, hi, Indian audience represent. You are funny. Well, thanks for liking my show. Hello, India. Not sure if this is too personal to ask, but how was coming out to Super Boomer parents? Oh, I didn't come out to my parents. Like, what benefit is it to me? The risk to coming out to my parents does not equal the inheritance. It's as simple as that. It's monetary. My relationship with my parents is fine. They respect what I do now that my Army Ranger cousin in LaPorte, Indiana said. My dad did not like what I do until my cousin out in LaPorte, Indiana, who's an Army Ranger, said he liked RCR. And the second my cousin liked it, who my dad respects, suddenly my dad likes what I do. I mean, I'm the firstborn in my family not to serve. And I regret it a little bit, but also looking at my personality, I'm not a military guy. I'm way too snarky. And when I say that, people say, well, then you're perfect for the military. If you're snarky and cynical and calling everything bullshit, then yeah, you should go. And like, my family was all Navy. So I would have gone Navy as well. But I just can't take things seriously enough. And the fleet runs on tradition as much as it does diesel oil. So any thoughts? Nissan Skyline GTR 33 says, any thoughts on a 1980s U.S. market Mercedes 300D turbo diesel? There's one of my grandmas that could use some love. Yeah, it's going to need some love, and it's going to need a lot of money and someone who knows how to work on those things. Those are very well-made luxury cars that have a lot of Demurian quirks and features, and also a climate control system that's all analog. If you can live in a car without heat and air conditioning, like just a summer car with the windows down and no heat, there's a possibility that heat's not going to work and it's never going to work. So go for it. I need food to put on this coffee. Nissan, so it's not a good first car then? No, Toyota Camry is a good first car. Everybody else is streaming right now, so maybe doing this midday is not the best for this sort of thing. Matt Lazaro says, do your parents watch RCR? Wouldn't they hear from the videos that you say you're gay? Maybe. You know, we don't really talk about my show when I'm at their house. Sometimes my dad does the voice. Maybe my parents just, it's possible they don't care. But the thing is, my dad can't keep secrets. So if I come out to him, my dad's going to tell everybody. He's going to tell his barber. He's going to tell the UPS guy. He's going to tell everybody down at the shop. He's going to tell all my mom's friends. My dad is, you know, on the spectrum. So, and he's 70. So when those powers combine, he just says things. And I wish I'd known that growing up, because I wouldn't take everything he said seriously. Even though he's a great investor and he was a very good father, understanding social nuances was never his thing. Maybe that's what made him such a good naval officer. He just said, he said facts. You hang out with my dad, and he just talks facts. He's like, and when my dad's saying something that I don't care about, but it means a lot to him, I just say, well, yeah, that's a true statement. So I'm not lying, and he's not lying. It's the Katanda says, YouTuber named Tyler Tube uses 99 Toyota Camry for projects and has 300,000 miles. That's a fact. That sure is a fact. So, things that I know the Galxieee is going to need right off the bat is it's got some holes in the trunk, some rust holes there, and the previous owner put like just some plywood down in the trunk. So stuff to cut and weld there. It's leaking oil, leaking transmission fluid, and I don't think it's leaking coolant, so that's good. It has a flex light fan with a huge spacer on it, because that thing has a Ford small block in it. And the full-size Fords, which is really just another way to say the Galxieee and whatever the Mercury version of the Galxieee is, and the Lincoln Continental. When you put a small block in those engines, you realize why they called it why the small block was really small. Those things are made for FE big blocks. So you put a Ford small block in there, and you need a spacer that's like that wide, that long, to get that fan close to the radiator. There's a lot of space. What engine does the Galxieee have? As a 302. And it shouldn't, because the only small block that was available in 1966 for a Galxieee 500 would have been the 289, you know, the Mustang engine. The 302, I don't believe, was introduced into the Ford catalog until 1968 as the Boss 302. So, at some point in this car's history, I'm guessing, you know, the easiest explanation is probably the correct one. I'm guessing originally in 1966 it had a 289. The odometer reads 306 miles. No way. That thing's gone around at least once. Because back in those days, odometers didn't go to 100,000. They went to 99. So I'm guessing the 289 just got worn out sometime in the history. They got an engine for $50 or whatever and put a 302 in there. Because that's what they probably pulled that from something else. And it's Ford small block, everything lined up. They just dropped it in, hooked up everything. And the reason I think, it's originally was a 289 because all the throttle linkages are the same. So a 289 and 302 dimensionally are the same engine. It's just the interiors, the bore and stroke is different. So that was probably logically the cheapest thing they could have got. They would have pulled it out of anything, put it in there. And it would have been a 70s 302 because it still has a mechanical place for the mechanical fuel pump on the timing cover. So that's there. And fine. Any thoughts on a collab with aging wheels for the Galxieee? Yes. I would love when this car is finished to drive it out there. This thing cruises great, even with no overdrive gear. You know, I mean, it's at 2,000 RPM at like 65 miles an hour. But the gas mileage isn't horrendous. It's fantastic on the highway. It is a delight. It is so smooth. Another plus about the third gen Galxies over the second gen. The third gen Galxies have a 3-link rear. They don't have leaf springs. That thing in 1966 has coils in the rear. How about that? Now it's not coil over. It's, coils and then the shocks are separate, off to the side or inborn a little bit. But it has stabilizer bars for the 9-inch rear axle. So, I mean, you take corners and it's, but it's a controlled off to the side. I already lost one of these hubcaps. So, the previous owner, his name's Randy, he changed the wheel covers. He still has the stock wheel covers, and I have them still. But he got hubcaps probably at like Carlisle or Swap Meet. He put the fake spinner and fake wire wheel covers from a Ford Thunderbird on that. So that's what you see in the pictures right there. So I was driving around the other day, taking corners really fast to just make the thing lean, and it's great. But then I popped one of the wheel covers off, and that was a thing that happened with old cars. Since there's so much, I mean, the tire size, they're 17, no, they're 15-inch wheels. 225, 95, 15. There's a lot of sidewall. So when you take corners in this big heavy car, the tires deform. They stretch as they go over, and they extend farther than the lip of the wheel cover, and almost like a pulling tool, they will pop their own wheel covers off. And if you see in old 70s movies, wheel covers just pop off and then start rolling down the road because they're already spinning. So I popped one off. I don't know when I did it. So it just went off into the weeds somewhere. I come back and I see I see a Steely right there. So what I'm probably going to do is either go back, put the stock wheel covers back on. I may, as an activity for myself, repaint them because they're supposed to have some black paint on them to sort of make like they look like turbine wheels, and also some red paint in the middle. So I could repaint them. Or underneath those, it does have also beauty rings, which when people had steel wheels, there was a chrome rim a chrome trim piece that didn't cover the whole wheel, but it covered just the rim of the wheel. And those I like as well. At some point in this car's history, the wheels were painted to match the body color. They're white Steelies, which at a glance looks neat, but then it looks kind of trashy. So I'm going to take them off, probably paint them black, put the chrome steel rims back on, and maybe find some dog dish wheels, because if I want to make it look like a taxi, then true taxis, like true New York City. There were Galxieee New York City taxi cabs. Of course, the taxi package from Ford with the Galxieee was, of course, a 4-door hardtop. There's no such thing as a convertible taxi. So I'm on the fence whether I want to be more true to the game because I think well, we could find that out. We could go look at stills from Crazy Taxi and try to guess what type of wheels that are on there. Or do I want to make it look like what if there was a convertible taxi? Well, then it's still, because no taxis had wheel covers. They were just poverty caps. They were just black steel wheels and probably just that. Maybe they would have the dog dish hubcaps in the center. But Ed Morris, and I'm sure they look even worse when you notice they're dirty. Yeah. Buy a white car, they said. It'd be fun, they said. Cromulent Commodore said I had a dozen different Ford hubcaps in the trunk of my 72 Mercury Montego. So was the Montego the version of that? The Mercury version of the Galxieee? Yeah. Gonna replace the horn with a speaker that just blasts, yeah. Hey, if anybody knows how to wire something like that up, its own special speaker and a button that just goes that. I'm sure that would get old pretty quick. So Eli Morganson says it looks like the wheels have changed depending on which game you're talking about. All right, well, let's put a taxi light. Yeah, we can look at taxi lights. Okay, those look those are just, well, chrome, unknown there. Jeffrey Thompson says, "Thank you for coming out." Hey, thank you for still watching me. Okay. Obviously some sort of alloy wheels. These look like more like dub style. Like those are at least 18 inches. I was seeing 18 or 20s. They could have been 20s. 20s are huge on classic cars. They look gigantic. All right. So this is more okay, the old one had poverty style caps on it. Oh, this is a Jalopnik article. Crazy Taxi is still one of the most brilliant games ever made. Yeah, it is. It predates all right, so, oh, interesting. The hero car has white walls. God, I hate white walls. And it has spinners. Shit, now I'm upset that I lost the spinner hubcaps. All right. So, looks like I'm keeping the stock hubcaps on and not painting them. I might even try to strip off all the paint to make them look chrome. Kay Levin says you need to dye your hair green. I don't have that much hair to dye anymore. Nissan Skyline, why do I hate white walls so much? Two things. One, they're so expensive right now. If you just want a traditional black wall tire, you're going to play market price. It's going to be fine. You want the same tire in white wall. There's this friggin' boomer tax on it, and you pay extra for it. Don't give a shit. Eli Morgan says no one makes good ones either. Yeah, it's like Cocker, and no, they're terrible tires. Actually, no, I had them on the Falcon. They suck. Right now, the Galxieee has just hand cooks on them. So, great. Just run traditional all seasons. So, this is what we're going to be talking about. Well, there was something else we were supposed to look at for a second. Forget what it is. What was the entire point of white walls? To show luxury class money? I don't know. I think originally, like, natural rubber is white and not black. So early tires, I think were completely white. But then they get dirty. At some point, it was a throwback to what original tires were like in the teens, maybe. So I guess white walls were supposed to like mimic that, but oh well. Russell Park, hello Russell, says gum wall. That's right, gum tires. So what was I about to do? I need to get the part number for, there it is. So this is what we're going to talk about with Holly. So this is the part number that hopefully my meeting will go well. It's a 550-511 kilo Sniper EFI Master Kit. This is what I want to go on the Galxieee. Self-learning fuel injector kit. It's not, and it's, even though it's port fuel injected, obviously there is not one fuel injector, there is 4, one for each barrel. So it doesn't matter if I have a 4-holer or if I have a dual plane or a single plane intake. You get 4 sources of fuel going in. Matt Lazaro says, did you find a shop to wrap your Galxieee? Yes, I did. I was supposed to have a call with him today, but he's out. And I honestly was supposed to drive the Galxieee out so they could take measurements, but it just snowed today in Pennsylvania. I'm not driving a car in the snow. Even though it's, there's salt on the roads. And there's also a hole, there's a rip in the convertible top for the Galxieee, which I now have Gorilla Tape on, and it doesn't stick to the vinyl that well. So I need to get some contact cement and maybe some vinyl and like make a patch for it. I haven't found anyone to install a new top for this car. They do make third-party replacement soft tops for 3rd gen Galxies, but I mean, and they're only like $500, so that's reasonable. But then putting them on is a little bit of applied knowledge, how to get it on and make it not bind. So no. As of now, I'm just going to patch the roof. In fact, before I take this call with Holly Performance, I should probably go to the hardware store and buy some flex tape, see if that holds a little bit better than the Gorilla Tape. And I need to bring the Galxieee to Bruce's on Thursday, and it's going to rain Thursday, so I need to make sure I get the least amount of wet inside the car driving it to Bruce's, because that's like the opening he has. I did talk to a arcade cabinet collector who will let me film at his arcade. It's not RetroWare. They don't have a Crazy Taxi, but there's another one who does, who they're friends with, and I just had a phone call with him yesterday, and he said, yes, we can do a introduction to the video, me playing the Crazy Taxi arcade game, walking outside, and there's the car. The video will start with a build of the car, but it's not going to be like the Falcon build where it's like 20 parts. It's just going to be a condensed version. We'll just show you the hits, bringing it to Bruce's. And in fact, when I bring it to Bruce's on Thursday, I don't even think I'm going to film anything because it's just going to be making a game plan for what we need to fix. What people want to see is not. I mean, I could do a video like everything wrong with the Galxieee I bought. Do they make money? Is it worth my time to make a here's everything wrong with the car I bought? Because from my perspective, there's a bunch wrong with it, but in terms of classic cars, it's fine. It's the Cassandra says, the least amount of wet, what she says. Nissan Skyline says, is that a common thing with custom carburetors? Well, there's no such thing as a custom carburetor. I'm not sure what you mean. You're talking aftermarket carburetors? Works and features. Helped a friend install one on a Chevy small block a number of years ago. I know we're on a delay here. You're still talking about Sniper EFI. Issa Cassandra says, white is an easy color to change. Well, the car is going to be wrapped. May have missed it, but is it a 289 or 390? It's a 302. And it shouldn't be there. Probably it was a I'm guessing it was a 289 car, and at some point they just needed to replace the engine, and they found a 302 and just put it on. Couchfont says, I think you did something like that with the Falcon, and it got a little stale. Yeah. What's the ETA for the big debut video? Summer? May. May, definitely. I want to have this finished in time for May to drive it down to Trail Days, Big Appalachian Trail sort of festival, and also get ready for Too Many Games later in the summer. So, as of now, there are two major things to be done with the car. Get it to pass inspection. Three things. Get it to pass inspection, Holley Sniper EFI, and wrap. And two of those things Bruce is going to do, and the other one the wrap place is going to do. Eli Morgan says everything wrong with my car video is a bit overplayed, but it always attracts views. Yeah, it is. All right. You know, why not both? I'll make it quick. I'll make it a quick video. Take a notebook. Peter Belfar, AT Festival. That must be the only thing smellier than a Fish concert. I mean, it's outdoors. I've smelled some pretty bad hikers. I think the smelliest person I ever smelled was when I was a teacher. Occasionally there would be a kid who wouldn't bathe, and I had to help them with their homework, and it was like smelling a disease. It felt instinctually like I was smelling a disease. Like there's there's rotting skin on them. I mean, that was bad. Russell says, have I had it on a lift yet? I will on Thursday. And then we'll find out what truly it needs. And instead of me doing the work, I'm just going to pay Bruce to do it. And then I'm just going to come over and, you know, film the hits. Oh, there is one other part number I will need for this. And for the Sniper EFI, they make another part that's a bracket for where you drill in the O2 sensor in one of the exhaust ports. Exhaust ports, what am I saying? Exhaust pipes. No, don't need a digital dash, although that's cool. Don't need that. GM throttle, don't need that. Or that. Don't need this. Don't need to read reviews. You already sold it to me, or rather, give it to me for free. Are there plans to be resto mod or just keep the top stock EFI and wrap? Yeah, I'm not dumping money into this thing. The car, I learned my lesson with the Falcon. The Falcon was a resto mod. Once you change one thing, you're changing 10 things. So no. But the chrome air cleaner must add at least 10 horsepower. Yeah, the previous owner got a period correct, like 302 performance air cleaner, cover holder thing. So that's fine. Holly has this bung that you drill and tap the stock sensor into. You could also put it on the headers. Do you really want to put it on the headers, or do you really want it to get the proper blend down past the headers? Bronze X7 V7. Any ideas for a fun, reliable car aside from a V6 manual Accord? Preferably 2016 plus. You really need a V6, huh? No. No. V6s by the teens were for like minivans and stuff like that. I'd honestly keep it with a 4-cylinder. I'm going to suggest to you FRS BRZ 86, and then you're going to counter with why you don't want that. The car is fine, doesn't need to be poked and prodded to fill somebody's fantasy. Yeah. This thing is more going to be visual. Gosh, what? Classic gold. Shiny. Is the shiny one more expensive? No. And black is fine. 3.8 Genesis Coupe, says Ethan. That's a good suggestion. What is that bung? I'm just typing bung. B-U-N-G. Does that give it to me? EFI bracket. EFI 02. Does that get me more toward that little bracket thing? O2 sensor bung plug only. That's what we need. Blackhawk O2 sensor clamp on style. Yeah, that's what we need right there. I mean, Bruce will probably weld something in there, but I'll ask Holly or the representative for one of these as well. Has Brian given up on his EOS webcam, or is he actually using a black and white security camera? No, I'm using a Logitech over here because curiously this one has enough exposure in this dimly lit room for this to work correctly. The real one is over there behind me next to the mixing board that we do use when both Nick and I are sitting in the seats, and that works fine. But for something that just fits on the desk, we're using this one. I mean, it does have color, I think, but it looks really weird. I think I can mess with it in stream. Configure video, advanced setting. Yeah. See, that's like what it looks like. It's really bad. This looks good. This looks dumb. White balance, it's an old webcam. Contrast, no. Yeah, the color is pretty bad on this camera. So If you make everything black and white, it honestly looks better. There, now I'm a Tim Armstrong video. Looks like an Instagram vaporwave colors, yeah. So in a half an hour, I don't think there's enough time now to go to the hardware store and go buy a roll of flex tape. But what I can do is text Greg and ask if he has a heat gun. Because trying to tape something up in below freezing, like really cold temperature, stuff doesn't want to stick. By chance, do you have a heat gun? This is, we're still looking for cars for Nick, because he needs to replace Red Betty, the SN95 Mustang. And what the fuck is Gal selling used white shorts for? I don't know. Trying to figure out whether I wanted to put handling mods on a 07 manual Volvo S40. I don't want to put much engine performance since mods. Nobody sees the point. I'm modding a stock. Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean handling mods? You mean suspension stuff? I think like with a car like that, the best thing you could possibly do would be just replace your bushings with new ones. The car will handle so much better. What's Roman's budget? You know, honestly, he was hoping to buy a car for $3,000. I don't know if that's possible. I think realistically it's $7,000. Were we looking at this one before? This Corolla in A-Town with the freaking beer bottle like right there. Crazy thing is, it's not really all that dirty. And if that's really 90,000 miles, this thing's freaking great. If you see it, the car's still available. Like, this is what he should have. I'm discouraging him to buy a Panther body. I think he should give up on the blue oval. The 62 Cadillac is now $10,000 less. Oh, now he only wants $50,000. Starting to coming down, you dick. Still not paying $49,000. It's freaking awesome though, but see, that's your crazy taxi right there. That's a Series 62. In 62. Series 62 doesn't mean 1962. It just means the type of car they had. Man, that's nice. Oh, well. Ace Imperial said, wouldn't it be better? No. I mean, yeah. But he doesn't really... We don't really have the need to drive in the snow. So we don't film really in the snow. Here's one in Shoei for 163, 160. I mean, you can. I'm not opposed to a RAV4 like this. You got your meatball there right in the rear, and the V6. I don't like that engine in there. Okay, what is up with this seat? You have a seat cover. You have another seat cover. And another seat cover. Is this someone very short of stature driving this car? Who's that in the background with no bra on? Like George Costanza's mother who drives this. Just interested people inbox me. Interesting. 264, no. 7,000, no. This one has a video. Army Dad, don't give me a ticket. Selling an RBL top condition. What does that mean? Clean inside with shiny factory paint, excellent engine transmission, nothing to fix, low miles, clean tail. Negotiable price. Bet your ass is a negotiable price. Like $5,000? Great. Blacktop engine? Great. Or the modern day version of it? Great, great, great. I saw the title of your stream and I was terrified you got hacked. Why? What's the title of this stream? Learn to invest. Oh, okay. There we go. Save. Thank you for catching that. Cars I wanted RAV4, then Tacoma, but I need to take Galxieeee into... Thank you for reminding me about the meeting in 30 minutes. I would still like a Colorado Tacoma with a bed cap. I would still like a RAV4 Runner. All good choices. Nice. Very cool. Awesome, 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 awesome. Oh, it's a postal car. Oh, dumb. 99,000 miles. One in the Bronx. Love the seats. Can't find a floor mat to save your life. Bryce Graham says hanging out with Brian is the best. Favorite YouTubers. I watch your channel faithfully. Oh, thanks, man. I need lozenges. Dan the Sply Man, it's going to replace my Kia Spectra. Currently hunting for a Grand Touring Mazda 3. Originally I was looking at Focus because I'm in love with sporty style hatches, but the Mazda 3 was so much more comfortable. Imagine so, it's a larger car. Does the Camry have an E in it? The one time I drove a Cobalt and I learned... One time I drove a Cobalt was when I learned 4 bangers had changed. Ooh, here's a nice one. Excelente conditional. DM for more info. Ideally, you want to buy from a homeowner. You want to find something that's just grandpa's car. Interesting that this was shot downtown Reading, not this one. Great, great, great. Stuff not shown in videos. Very clean, dependable. 2 owners. Garage kept since new. No scratches, dents, tires on brake chains at 10,000 miles. I'm some famous airplanes on this one. 99. Awesome. Yeah, he should buy this. This rules. The CD and tape deck. Great. Find out what's under that steering wheel cover. Hopefully nothing. Yeah, except red Camry looked like a buy here, pay here car. Yeah. Lowered Camry SE? No. Yeah, this is a good one. Two-tone, awesome. Flamin, PA. What's a better Lexus? Has Moldog invited you back on the Adam Friedland show? You should review his car. I talk to Nick Mullen, like occasionally I'll get a text from him. I'll text him back. If he wants me back, I'll bring it back. What I'd like to do is when Crazy Taxi is finished, to drive it to New York. The one thing is I don't know if you can have something with a taxi-esque livery in Manhattan. And I don't know where to park in Brooklyn. If there's parking spots that will accommodate a car that big. So I need to know someone who lives around there. And also, there's other things. We'd need to get LED headlights on the thing. I'm sure they're weak as crap. Find a place where it's not going to get broken into, where the soft top isn't going to get slashed. That's that kind of thing. That would be more of a question for Alex Roy or Blake Wrong or some other people who spend some time in the city. Do you have an opinion about current day Hyundais and Genesis? I'm considering a G70 2.0 manual. Family is scaring away from it, but I feel them getting bad. They're not bad. I mean, they're gasoline direct injections. All of them have problems. I mean, really, the answer is, yeah, I'd agree with your parents. Buy a Toyota or a Honda. Don't buy a Hyundai product unless it's an electric car. I mean, if you want a hard, fast rule, that is what you're going to do. Their GDI engines have problems. I mean, we recently filmed a Hyundai Venue. It sure is a car, and it uses a port fuel injected engine, not GDI. So those are fine. You'll be okay with one of those. But Sprinter FS said, just leave your trunk unlocked and open if you don't want your broken window or slashed top. Yeah. You know, probably if we go an EFI system, I'll ask Bruce to put a kill switch in it, or just something that turns off the electric motor. Have a kill switch for the electric motor hidden somewhere, so you can just turn off the electric fuel pump and electric motor. I said, yeah, electric fuel pump. So it just won't. The car will just crank, and it's not going to start. Nick B says, what I meant earlier is that I need a laundry hauler. Unfortunately, that has to influence my criteria. I would like a bed to pick up furniture items, but I also need a cabin for clothes. All right, so you need something like a Ford Transit van, right? When you say laundry hauler, I mean, are you in the cleaning business? Do you need to haul laundry like suits and stuff that's on hangers that you need to hang it inside the car so it doesn't get wrinkled? Or are we just talking like a fluff and fold where the clothes are folded and they're like in boxes or maybe trash bags? Something like that. KSM MDM says, just need a minivan. Yeah, really. Just buy a Toyota Sienna. No, basket laundry. So this is just personal use? Well, then any car does that. But you need a bed too. Well, any truck does that. Just put it in passenger seat. Unless I'm missing something here. Dirty diaper mobile. It says RX 350. Maybe if you can really afford one. Really, there's no. Or is it LS 460? I thought it was the. It was promotional. McDonald's bags will be worth something someday. Lexus LS Luxury. Oh boy. GS 300. RS. LS 430. LS 430. 9 grand. Douglasville. Interesting. What are these? Sub 7. $6,000. OBO. Okay, there's two pictures. That's doesn't bode well. Crack down there. Good. Alright. Oh, seat coming apart. No. Still the original. Okay, those can go. You're not showing me the driver's bolstering, are you? Which leads me to believe the driver's seat's ripped because you're not showing it. $9,000. Interesting. I think get plenty of wheels. Alright. 20 minutes until I have this meeting. Ugh, slammed. No. Parked by itself. Touchscreen. What is this? 2008? 6,500? Alright, why is a 460 being sold for 6 grand? Our title? So they say the door was hit, but you know, that could be true. Could be not true. Could be making stuff up. How much of a premium Lexus and Acuras have against their mainstream Toyotas and Hondas in the US in terms of maintenance? The maintenance is going to cost more because they use some previous parts. They use some premium parts. I mean, realistically, Nick would want to, if the car he's buying is here to save him money, he shouldn't be buying a Lexus, even though, you know, they're great. With all the bells and whistles, immaculate condition, highway miles, who, you know, I'm a single driver, a physician. What does it mean, use his car to cheat on his wife? Serious Infinity 9000 OBO. And no pictures of the interior. Fantastic. I don't believe anything you say. Parked in. Yep, seats all cracked. You know, I still think like. Sunburnt hood. Yeah. Man, that. Ooh, LS400. Brian, how did you learn to drive stick? My mom taught me in the school parking lot in a 1975 MGB. I learned on my Ram 50. I think it's an 80s truck. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Still didn't see the driver's seat. Will run forever. Excellent condition. Garage tap. Havertown. You know, for 5 grand. An LS400. Awesome. Have I looked at Suzuki's? Nope, and I won't. SC400. Oh, it's all the way down in Baltimore. Tinted windows and bashed up in the front. No thanks. Alright, so does it have to be a sedan, or is he looking for SUVs as well? I mean, You know, Lexus Land Cruiser here. Oh, that is pretty. Seat's ripping though. He doesn't really need a sport utility vehicle. Is late 90s, early 2000 Lexus LS 470 worth 10 to 12 grand? I mean, depending on its condition, really. SC 300 for 8 grand. Show me that driver's seat. Still didn't see it. Tinted windows. Tinted windows just means deferred maintenance to me. Someone spent their money on tinted windows and not preventative maintenance. Thank you. Pretty cool that your mom took you to learn to drive stick. Meanwhile, my mom still won't drive on the freeway. Hold your mom. I mean, there's a thing that I've heard some people don't like the highway because they're moving too fast, which really means like some people, their executive function or executive decision or that movie, it's difficult some people to make instant snap decisions with calm and cool demeanor. Why is this one so perfect? Why is this? Show me the driver's seat. Still not showing me the driver's seat. See? Every time. Car looks great. Driver's seat completely shot. That's the thing about Toyota. Like, yeah, the car is great. They just couldn't get an interior. They couldn't get leather seats that would hold up. Yeah, well. Nope. Not gonna lie, Mr. Regular is a game man that sort of struggles with stereotypes and finding my place. It's been amazing watching you lately. Hey, thanks. Thanks for watching. I got to show you one thing before I sign off. This is a Seiko. I guess now you would almost call this a vintage Seiko that my friend Jim got for me, and Blake Wrong from Jalopnik and many other publications repaired for me. I sent it to Brooklyn and he repaired it. I got the watch without a band on it, so I put a Pride band on it, and this watch, well, the band goes around the rear, but you saw me shaking it like it's a mechanical watch, and it's not. This thing is a quartz watch, I think it's a quartz watch. Well, it still is an electric watch, but when you spin the weight in the rear, it's not winding a spring. It's a little dynamo in there that charges a capacitor, and that's what runs the watch. It's completely pointless. Why would you just not have why not just have a watch that's either a battery or a spring? Yeah, Phil Hand says the Seiko Kinetic. Oh, hey Phil. Yeah, and there it is running. The only thing that doesn't work on it is this button up here. This button, when you press it, is supposed to show you the amount of electric charge on it. And the way it does that is that it uses its second hand that points to a power meter on it. That bit is the cool bit. It doesn't work. But at least Blake was able to get this thing running as a watch. And I don't know when I'm going to wear this around town because, you know, rural Pennsylvania, there's still homophobic people around. I'm obviously going to wear it on my flight, and when I'm on VinWiki coming up, I'll be wearing it. We go to film that next week, so I got to fly down to Atlanta. And this will probably appear maybe in a few RCR videos. I'll be wearing it. The Seiko Kinetic doesn't have a long life, a long charge time, like maybe a day. So it's one of these things that you put it on, you got to reset the time and reset the date when you start using it. Is the strap rainbow? We can't tell, but yeah, it's black and white, isn't it? Yeah, and that'll be vaporwave when I turn the color on. White balance. Yeah, so there it is. There's a Seiko Kinetic with the pride band on it. And of course the time's wrong because I just started it going again. So I got 10 minutes before I have to take this call, so I am going to sign off there. Dickie Rubin says looking to get a GX470 or GS all-wheel drive. Yeah, just get the GX470. Like if you have the means, get the Lexus Land Cruiser, and put enough aside that you can find an upholsterer to redo the driver's seat. Because all that cheap vinyl and stuff that Toyota uses, or their low quality leather, it's something they could never get right. They can do cloth seats really well, but ask them to do vinyl seats, they just don't. Last minute super chat from Jake H says CRZ guy here, catching up in the stream, might be able to help you guys around parking in Brooklyn. Nick has my number. Oh, it's Jake. Yeah. Find a place where you can park any place you can park a box truck. That's where you're gonna park a 3rd gen Galxieee. So, yep. Wally Boy says 99 4Runner, 1 owner, 30,000 miles. All right, we'll do this really quick. We'll type in 4Runner here. See what comes up. It's all going to be expensive. Oh, there's an 02. $7,500. What's wrong with it? Some rust, meaning a lot of rust. Everything working fine. Some paint chips, a lot of paint chips. Yeah, some rust means a lot of rust. So rusty. A respectable one for 10 grand, a black one. Where's the rust? Show me the rust. Oh shit, this is a manual transmission one. God damn. Awesome. Well, that's it, guys. I gotta take this call. I gotta get ready for the Zoom call, which means I need to put on my fashionable glasses. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. How do I turn it on?